On this episode of ResiWeek, we look back at 2018 and bring you some of the best conversations that we had on the show. All this and more on this episode of ResiWeek.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
This is ResiWeek, episode 151, Best of 2018.
Support for AVNation is brought to you by
Peerless AV, driving technology through innovation.
And by HD Base 2.
This week's episode of ResiWeek is going to be special. Today, we're going to take a look back at the year that was and check out some of the highlights from the AV industry and specifically the residential market. There have been a number of mergers and acquisitions that shook up this space, as well as a lot of our friends finding some new opportunities within new companies. Probably the largest hire this year was Charlie Kindle, previously from Microsoft and Amazon, where he helped develop their voice control assistant, Alexa. He joined Control4 in August of this past year as the Senior VP of Products and Services, which we discussed with Brad Heinz from Control4 on ResiWeek episode 131. Brad starts off talking about how this great hire came to be.
Oh, we're very excited to have someone that has such deep experience. And, you know, when our former SVP of product announced his retirement late last year, Martin, he'll tell you that he was nervous about finding somebody that has the hardware and the software experience and pulling them, trying to pull them together and ship a whole big platform. But to go even further, you know, when you're a manufacturer in this space, you have a two-sided market. You need to be able to speak to consumers, but you also need to be able to do it in a way that you're keeping your dealer channel happy. You're delivering products for them so that they can help grow their business. And he's got that two-sided experience, albeit with a lot of software developers, right, in that development community, and then end consumers on the other side. So we're really excited to have somebody that's so customer-centric, but also is really deeply committed to the channel as well.
Very good. Colleen, when we look at this hire, as I kind of mentioned in the intro, this is a really big get for the industry. And I want to phrase this appropriately, and I probably won't, so bear with me and hopefully you can clean this up. But does this legitimize or does this help legitimize our industry and our channel when we're able to grab and grab talent of this level and bring him from Amazon into the CI channel? Because we don't see that as often.
We hardly ever see that. I can't even think of another instance in which we've had such a large, high-profile person come into our small little industry. I think we are legitimate. We always have been. But this really does increase and will increase the awareness. And that's, I think, that consumers need to become more aware of the ability to call somebody to put in your home technology as you would call a plumber or an electrician. And that awareness, I think Charlie is going to be a big help in bringing that change about.
Our next segment comes to us from ResiWeek 130. This year has seen a trend in the rise of a resi-mercial. That's the phrase that I probably should have trademarked so I could sue y'all who are using it. Resi-mercial, if you haven't heard of it, it is the kind of the design aesthetic where you're merging residential designs into a commercial space of, you know, meeting rooms and huddle spaces and offices, really creating that more relaxed, you know, residential living room, family room feel. Giles Sutton of Acedia starts us off talking about the challenge and the reward that comes with resi-mercial design.
I think it's, you know, it is not without its challenges. I mean, I think the commercial world is very different to the resi world. You know, I'm thinking from my experience being an integrator in the center of London, we were surrounded by commercial office spaces, boardrooms. The way of working in commercial is a bit different. A lot of the time you're working through the contractor. You're not necessarily working direct with client. That requires a whole different way of doing business. So I think it's definitely not without its challenges, but I think there's a huge opportunity there because of the nature of the designers that are available. When you come to these projects and you're able to propose solutions that are actually really going to enhance the spaces, I mean, designers are like, whoa, we're not used to this. In commercial, a lot of the time, there's no thought into aesthetics. It's about the right product for the job. So, yeah, I'm very enthusiastic. I've always thought that there is an opportunity for residential integrators to work more in boardrooms, and I think this is just a continuation of that.
Our next segment comes from ResiWeek 126. As smart home technology becomes more ubiquitous, it comes with a chance of that control being used with harmful intent. Jason Knott starts us off talking about what integrators can do to ensure that a secure system is in place to protect against things like domestic abuse being affected through smart home technology.
Maybe it's a service opportunity for an integrator to go back and say, hey, I can come back in and do a clean sweep password change or a connectivity change based for a flat fee. I'm just making this up, but maybe it becomes that sort of an opportunity. Mitch, I'm sorry, I talked over you there. Go ahead.
No, you're right. It's a double-edged sword here. I mean, you can't leave a back door open in order for an integrator to come in and fix this. You can't do that. I mean, oh my God, that can create all kinds of other potential hacking problems.
Yeah.
How do you lock down an approval? And it's not just a domestic abuse issue. Think about someone sells their house, right?
Yeah.
And now the new owners come in, and the old owners could potentially keep a back door open and have access to it. So this cuts into so many different areas and is way beyond the scope of an integrator. To start getting into legal issues like that, I don't know. Do you want to put a single-page contract that says, I hereby approve the fact that only Mr. Jones is going to have access to the system and not Mrs.? Or do you want to cross that line and even imply that something like this could potentially happen to the couple when you're meeting with the happy couple and say, well, Mr., in case you abuse, and this is, no thanks.
Well, and I think that's the hard thing is you read through this and, I called Tim out as soon as he sent it to me. I'm like, why are you trying to get me in trouble? What are you doing to me? But it is a big thing of, who does have the rights? How do you as the integrator do the best you possibly can to ensure that all parties are aware of what's going on and that you're, making a secure system going forward?
This reminds me, we did an article a few weeks ago, I don't know if you guys saw it, about who actually owns the video that is recorded from a video doorbell. The homeowner might think that they own it. They don't own it.
No.
Whoever's storing that or doing the recording is the actual owner. And it came up in a case because a homeowner wanted to see the video because there'd been a fight out on the curb in front of the house. And one of the passersby said he wanted to see the video so he could, conceivably prove that he wasn't the aggressor in the fight, and ended up being a legal issue. But this reminds me of you guys might remember, I want to say it was 2015 or 2016, the keynoter at CEDIA Expo, Michael Rogers, said that you will have customers who will pay you more to keep you disconnected than your customers are paying you today to connect you.
Yeah, I don't think they're wrong.
I don't think so either.
Our final segment of this best of episode comes from ResiWeek 113. Sonos published a patent that would create playlists based on biometrics. If you didn't think Sonos was moving fast enough, yeah, they did this too. Joe Whitaker of The Thoughtful Home starts off talking about how mood-based playlists aren't as much of a science fiction concept as we might think it is.
When you go into a bar or a restaurant and they have background music, ambient music, DJs, etc., they do kind of a internal, in their mind, kind of room assessment based on how BPMs can either bring a crowd's attention span and feelings up, how they can turn tables faster within a restaurant based on the BPMs, how to keep it at a certain level so that you're not chasing people off, but you're getting them to spend more money. This is actually a pretty legitimate thing, because you could think of somebody going into start to hop on a treadmill and start exercising, and Sonos sees your heart rate per minute jump. They can increase the music to match your exercise. You're at a resting heart rate. They know you're trying to relax, with a glass of scotch and a cigar, and all of a sudden they cut on that kind of music. This is legitimate, but the power in this patent isn't what they're proposing now. It's what they can do after the fact. Once they can start doing real biometric measurements based on facial expression, slumping, all these other things that we know there's scientific analytics behind already. But this lets them put the great thing about a patent is it's a timestamp. That's what it is. It's a timestamp of, we've got this idea, we're going to expand upon it, and you can expect us to do 3 or 4 patent revisions within the next 3 years. That's what this is about. This is, at first I thought it was a joke. No, it's going to actually be something real.
Very good. So not a joke. Mike, when you look at this, obviously there's a lot of factors that will play into the rollout of this down the road. But how quickly could we start to see some of this happen?
I think you're actually already starting to see some of this happen with when you look at some of the preferences that are built into just the skills from Alexa, for example. So once they understand, if you read some of the claims from this patent application, they're talking about, the biometrics. So in your voice, they can, you can pick up whether you're stressed or whether you're, or whether you're sad or whether, and so just some of the skills on the Alexa of understanding, the way that particular request came in, they're starting to do that. If in a workflow, if you're working on something, you're concentrating on that, and as they start to pick up more of this, and again, Joe's exactly right, because we're in a first to file patent system now, and so them putting that flag into the ground is going to allow some of these algorithms that will pick up on certain things and either adjust. His mention about the BPM in turntables, that's really good. But think about even you're exercising or you're doing something, and it adjusting that as well. So it's here. It's happening now.
Thanks again for joining us on this special year-end wrap-up show. For myself, if you'd like to connect with me, you can find me at Matt D. Scott on Twitter and pretty much every other social platform. But more importantly, please take a moment to check out AVNation.tv, where you'll find this show, as well as a wide variety of our other shows with all the verticals that we cover. When you visit the site, please take a moment to check out our supporters. We're extremely thankful for their support and ask that you support them as well. Thanks again for watching. That's all the time we have for this episode of ResiWeek.